Merry meet everyone. It's Anastasia Autumnfire, and I'm here from my car again. I wanted to do a video for week 3 and week 4 of Self-Love September. I've been journaling, but I have not been I have not been making videos of those journal entries, and I do think it's something that's important to share. So I want to do that now. Week 3 for Self-Love September was all about negative patterns, recognizing them in others, and then that became an internal working to recognize them within myself. Basically, the week started with just really noticing and seeing a lot of people that I consider friends, people that are family, pretty much people that I would go as far as to say, you know, I love them, I heart them. I would do anything that I could to help them. I really started observing a lot of negative patterns in our relationship together, if that makes sense. Like they're still amazing and wonderful people. I'm not saying anything else other than that, but I noticed there are a few that it's very much an opportunist type of relationship. If they can get something from someone, they're going to. And maybe that's society as a whole. It's not me. But I will go on out to say, you know, it very well could be just kind of how people are nowadays, and I just am really noticing that as a truth as opposed to a one-off situation, if that makes sense. But yeah, there are people that I would consider, you know, my loved ones, that even in our relationship, it feels like from time to time that it is, what can I get from Anna? What can if it's a situation, for example, of going out, I'm likely to be invited out if someone, and then coincidentally, oh, and I need the ride. Or, hey, I was going to ask if you wanted to come out, but then I realized I don't have the money. Knowing full well if someone tells me they need a night out, I've been that person where the week has just been a week and things have been tough, and I just need to get the hell out of Dodge and have something to look forward to, get a reason to get dressed up, have a reason to go out and do something special. So if I hear that a friend of mine or a family member or just a loved one in general needs that, I will do everything in my power to make sure they get that, even if it means, hey, I got you that night. If I have the funds, I have no problem sharing it. And it's not to make myself sound like this super altruistic, amazing person, because I'm not. I mean, I guess if you really think about it, it almost led me, the third week of September really led me to question a lot about not only other people, but it then began a reflection of myself, because I sat there and said, oh, well, they only want this, that, and the other thing from me. And it's like, but I give them this, that, and the other thing. Why do I do that? Well, I want their friendship. I want them to like me. I want their acceptance. Okay, so you want something from them too. And it feels like that's the wrong way of looking at things. Like, well, friendship and such is a positive thing, whereas borderline using someone isn't. But then again, that's a judgment. It really confused me. The third week of September, I was just in a state of confusion. I didn't know which way was up. I didn't know. It became very paranoid almost. Like, I was in a wedding that weekend, and even just helping out with the wedding, I just felt so totally out of place. And on the wedding day, my little girl was in it too. She was the flower girl, so she's running around talking to all these people. And one of them, I'd been in a couple shows with him, but an acquaintance more than anything. I know who he is. He knows who I am. That was kind of it. Came up to me and he's like, your little girl, she just has no fear. She is so just open and loving and caring. And I think that's what drove everything home. Was all week I'd been looking at relationships and second guessing them. And I did acknowledge a lot of negative patterns that people that I do love have. That doesn't mean I stop loving them. It doesn't mean I cut them from my life. They're not toxic. They're not harming. I would say a couple of them do use me for things, if I'm very honest, and not in paranoia. Just, it is what it is. But now I acknowledge that behavior and I can watch for it, and knowing that if I still decide to pay for them or drive them or do this or do that for them, that's on me at that point. I've identified this is how they are, and it's my choice if I want to enable that behavior or not stand for it and be a stronger person. And but when all was said and done, when Jake said that to me, the guy at the wedding, about my little girl, it just hit me that that's so much how I am. I'm the opposite of my daughter, I should say. And it is purely on me. Lily approaches everyone just open and loving, and I'm here, you're here, this is great. And that's living life. Just being there. And I understand caution, I understand trepidation. That needs to be a thing in life because we live in the world we live in. But for instance, at this wedding, I knew people. I'd done a couple shows with a couple of people. My two friends were getting married. It was a positive place, and yet I sat in the corner letting my anxiety rule me instead of taking a lesson from my daughter and going out and meeting people and talking with people and getting to know them better. And why did I just sit in the corner? Because in my mind, these weren't people that, they were out of my league. These are people that I kind of looked up to, and why would they talk to me? And why, they don't like me that much, because if they did, then we would be Facebook friends, or we would do this, or we would do that. And we don't, so they must not like me, so I'm not going to hinder them by making them talk to me. It seriously was a situation where my head talked me out of building relationships. And I see that very much as a lesson of self-love, because my lack of self-love is what hindered me from growing my community and growing my friendship base and seeking out more connections. And that is something that I really am taking on. This year's coming to a close, but that, I think, half of this year it kind of became apparent. I made it to grow my roots in the pagan community, and I still do want to do that, because friends are friends are friends. But I do need to do it in my personal everyday life too. My mundane is just as important as my magical life when it comes to building relationships. And the third week of September with my self-love workings showed me I have a lot of work to do, because it isn't about crafting. It isn't about magic. It isn't about it is, but those are tools you can use. But ultimately, I think the third week really showed me that these negative habits that I notice in others are still reflections on myself. I allow people to use me. I allow people to kind of use me as a doormat at times because I want acceptance. I want friendship. And I'm willing to even be a little abused to get that. And that's not healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not getting abused. But, you know, hey, Anna, do you want to go out? Oh, I have no money, but can you cover me? And then never getting paid back. Things like that. I don't know that it sounds very superficial as I say it out loud, but it's those little things where I notice every time I'm included in something, I need to provide more than just my company. And I really would like to have a friendship where all I need to do is provide my company. And I do have that. You know, my witchy sister in arms, she's awesome. I do have that with my guy. I mean, he just wants me. That's it. And I do love the hell out of that. And I mean, my immediate family is very much like that too. I don't mean to sound unappreciative or woe is me, but I noticed that in other people, and that made me look inward and say, why do I accept this? And the reason is I accept it because I want that kind of acceptance. I want a friendship so bad I'll deal with a little bit of, you know, using. And do I really want that in my friendships? Do I really want that in my relationships? And right now, I guess the answer is yes, and maybe that's kind of messed up. And here's an opportunity where I can make more friendships and more connections with people, and I choose to shrivel up as opposed to being out there and, like my daughter, fearless. And why is that? Because I don't see myself as being enough. I'm too old for these, because they are much younger. The people at the wedding were much younger than me. But I'm too old for them to want to hang out with. I'm too chubby for them to want to deal with. I'm too boring for them to want to talk to. You know, I'm a mom, and being a mom is great, but hey, what did you do today? Not much. And I struggle with humor and personality and just everything. I second guess so much. And it all just came flooding to me that ultimately the things I'm dissatisfied with are on me. And the third week of September was about noticing those negative habits, identifying them, and then realizing I'm in control of not only my own habits, but I'm also in control of those I accept from other people. And it ended with that wedding where it just kind of came hitting me like a ton of bricks that I have a lot of work to do. I want to be fearless. I want to be like my daughter. I want to be a little butterfly just flittering around and spreading joy. And I used to be that. And then I let acceptance start to rule me because I was worried that people wouldn't accept who I was, how I was, and so I changed how I was, and I've been fighting to get that back ever since. And yeah, it just, I think it's all for the third week of September, aside from negative habits, identifying them in others and in myself. It became realizing that, again, I know acceptance seems to be a big deal with me when it comes to self-love, that I really need to accept myself before others can accept me, because I won't let them know me in any way until I feel comfortable with me. All right. Now, week 4, I'm going to do it quick because I'm already almost at 15 minutes. Week 4 was about letting go of a lot of things. And not just like negative things, not like just pushing things away that no longer served me. It was also just about release. It was about, I have things. Mabon happened. I was getting ready for that full moon. a lot of energies were just so low. Usually the week preceding to a full moon, I'm really low on energy anyway. I kind of work opposite most people. Most people will say during the waxing phase of the moon, their energy is building and building and building until they get to the full moon, and then it's like, oh, mine is opposite. It's the week preceding, leading to the full moon, I am like a zombie. And I think because it was a super moon, blood moon, lunar eclipse, all that jazz piled into one, it was amplified by 100. I literally was at my desk falling asleep at work on my lunch break. But and then my equilibrium was off. I felt almost drunk at work. Just my mind was fuzzy and I was wonky and I just couldn't concentrate. I was kind of doing one of these, oh man, all the time. And through this, I was like, I had to let go of a lot of things. I had to let go of a lot of worries. I had to let go of a lot of concerns because I needed to focus. I needed to get work done at work. I needed to go home and make dinner. I needed to be a mom. I needed to, get stuff ready for Mabon. I had to get stuff ready for the full moon. I had to get things going. And I had a lot of things come through about my personal relationship with my guy and stuff, and looking at that and kind of identifying what is it I need out of this relationship, what is it he needs out of this relationship. And I usually am such a stickler, like focus and get this done and worry about this. I'm great at worrying. That I could letter in it if I was still in high school. And the fourth week was all about, I don't have the energy for this. It really brought to my mind that concerns and worries and nervousness and trying to micromanage and control everything takes so much out of you. It takes so much energy. And we really need to, or I really need to, sorry, this is a personal journey, Anna. I need to just instead of me trying to run my life, sometimes you need to let life run you. You just kind of need to be there and say, okay, universe, I'm here. I need you to point me in the right direction. And the fourth week of September was all about that. It was like, I'm letting go of the reins. Hell, Kernunos, spirits that be, good folk, if y'all have something you need to show me, if there's something I need to do or somewhere I need to be, I will follow you. I will put my faith in you, because right now I don't have the energy to do it myself. I don't have the patience. I don't have the time. It's about, it kind of does go back to acceptance. It's about accepting that you can't do it all. And the minute you just kind of admit that and just say, I'm going to go with the flow, because I can't do this. I can't be everywhere and do everything and be ever present. And I can't control what's going to come my way. I can only have the power to deal with it. And I still can't even control that. It's just, I need to look at how I'm going to react to a situation and then decide if that's correct or perhaps there's a better way, and then follow through. I can't control how that situation is going to end. I can only deal with me, and I need to let go of constantly worrying about every little detail, because that's just going to make my brain explode. And in the same breath, I need to, the way that deals with self-love is I need to give myself a break when it comes to trying to do everything. And sometimes I'm going to need to focus on magic. Sometimes I'm going to need to focus on mundane. Sometimes I'm going to need to focus on me. And that's not bad. And that's about self-love, because it deals with acknowledging that I deserve a break, acknowledging that I deserve to let go of some stuff and let someone else pick up the pieces. That is one thing my guy and I constantly have issues with. We'll be going somewhere and I'll have Lily, she's in the stroller, and I've got the backpack, and I've got the cup, and I've got, my cup, and I'm trying to do all of this. And then if we're like at State Fair, Irish Fair, Renfest, what have you, if I buy something, I'm trying to hold that bag too, and he'll have to come up to me and say, I've got this. And even then I'm like, oh no, you don't have to, I can do this, let the guy carry a bag, and then it leads to some shadow work, because while I admit I need to let go and do this, why do I feel I need to be a pack animal? Why do I feel I need to worry about everything and control everything? What is it? And I am finding, right now we're in the last week of Self-Love September. I am finding this to be a month of a lot of inner workings. I really thought at the beginning of this month, I can make fun crafts, because that is how I connect to the divine. I know a lot of people probably look at my practice and go, really, you're just into making little artsy crafts, sweetie. But honestly, I don't feel connected at times. No, that's not the right way to say it. I feel so connected when I am at my altar creating something, when I am manifesting something to aid in manifesting something else, when I'm researching correspondences, when I'm researching something to make a spell. That is where I connect to God, I connect to Goddess, I connect to the good folk and the spirits of the elements and the spirits of the ancestors. And all of that good juju comes from me crafting. And it could just be the phase that I am in my path. It could be something where I evolve beyond that, where crafting no longer is the thing. It's about ritual. It's about all of that. And I kind of hope, because I would love to be a more, I don't know why, I tend to look at me crafting things as being kind of like a kindergartner in magic. And that might not be right, but I'm getting off subject. Self-Love September, I really was approaching kind of like 30 days of magic, or my 30 days of Samhain crafting that's coming up. I thought, I can make fun things and share them, and other people can get inspiration, and we can talk about this, and we can open up lines of communication, and this is great. But it's like the Goddess instantly saw that, or realized that's how I would approach it, and went, no, you're going to deal with a lot of inner things. You are going to deal with tackling this obsession you have with acceptance, and understand it in its entirety. Because the first week of Self-Love September, I was in a shame spiral. Second week was a hurdle about acceptance in and of itself. Third week, about noticing negative behaviors in others and in myself, and learning that I can't accept others and others can't accept me until I accept myself. And now the fourth week was very much about accepting the fact that I have to let go and that I deserve a break. And that sounds very odd to say. I hate when people go, I need a break. It's like, who are you? No one gets a break. It's life, sweetie. It's always there. But I think Goddess is finally getting to me and drilling into my head that, no, it isn't some, poor me act. No one's acting a martyr when they say, God, I just need a break. They genuinely need a break. And guess what? They genuinely should get one. And you're included in that. And yeah. So yeah, those were my third and fourth weeks of Self-Love September. I'm sorry this is a longer video than I had intended. I'm going to upload this tonight after I get home. I need to go into work right now because I have an all-day training session. Yay! I will do one more video. I do have a craft that I feel I have to do for Self-Love September. It is definitely something Goddess has shown me and is saying, yeah, you need to do this, sweetie. So that I'm going to do tomorrow night, on the 30th. And I will do a final video for this week was like 3 days of Self-Love September, but I do want to do one more video kind of summing up the experience for me. And again, it's been such an insane and wonderful experience. It's been very internal, very, very personal and intimate. So I'm not going to share everything, obviously, because I think some of it should be left, but I do want to share a good amount, because I think it's good to get these ideas and thoughts and vibes out there. Like, even if it's on YouTube and only a couple people view it, they're at least out in the universe, you know? So yeah, I need to go. I need to get to work. But thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe. The more the merrier. And yeah, I hope everyone else is having a really good Self-Love September. I really hope people are embracing this. I know I haven't done half as many videos as I thought I would do on Self-Love September, again, because everything's so inward and I wasn't expecting that. But I really hope that, even though I've kind of been quiet on the subject, because it is kind of a inner dealings type of a thing for me, at least, I really hope everyone else is harnessing the energy that it's bringing and really taking that journey as well. So yeah, blessed be. Bye, guys.